Okay, so here we go. Eric Valosin, Sacrament and Simulation, an exercise in transhuman substantiation. This piece was made specifically, and this is why I love Eric, he's always up for a challenge. This piece was made specifically for pandemic projections. And it is in response to not just COVID-19, but some of the consequences of this pandemic. So I'm just going to read because this is a pretty hefty explanation and it's like a lot of talking. So I, meaning Eric, had the odd experience of observing my wife, an ordained minister of the United Methodist Church, sitting at the kitchen table with a plate of bread. Hey, Eric's still here. With a plate of bread. Thanks for hanging in there. A cup of juice and his wife's laptop open in front of her. And he watched over her shoulder as her bishop offered Holy Communion to her and several other pastors via Zoom. And then he conferred special dispensation to each of them to administer virtual communion to their own socially distanced congregations. And so, from this vantage point, Eric was able to see the weeks of theological debate and deliberation leading up to this moment, where the clergy were forced for the first time to immediately consider the theological implications of total virtuality. I mean, this trumps trying to teach in the classroom. This is really, can you convey a sacrament? Can you deliver the body and the blood of Christ to a congregation virtually? And would it even still be considered communion? And so Eric began to ponder the whole mechanics of prayer and sacrament in new ways. And in a way, this is kind of fortuitous because Eric's been thinking about the relationship between the virtual and, the tangible worlds in his artwork all along. And I think this is just a very unique opportunity for him to think about it in a totally new way at a very particular moment. Yeah, this is a really interesting topic. And like Eric does, he's also interested in space. If you look at the screen now, that is the building that I projected onto from my kitchen window, the old nail salon. And now we're getting out and looking at pixels, bringing to mind this whole notion of the virtual and the what's the word I'm looking for? Intangible space pixels, and the previous image of the building. So, what does it mean to be in a real brick and mortar kind of space versus a virtual space? Can you function similarly? And there's like an image like a stained glass window, bringing to mind this notion of sacraments, the chalice and the paper with bread or the Eucharist. And now each of these paints now reveals a pastor or a minister, clergy person delivering the sacrament virtually. So Eric is saying he originally mapped the projection to the building, which explains some of the cropping too. Yes, definitely. And that's what I love about Eric. I don't know how he figured out virtually. Maybe he visited the building. I don't know. But how big the building was, and then he tailored the image he created just for the proportions and size of the building, which is unbelievable. He's got an unbelievable aptitude for mathematics as well as art and theology. He's one of the smartest people I know. And this video just, it's right up there with anything else that he's done when I've worked with him. Yeah, so thank you. I can't thank you enough for creating this very specific video, RGB. I can't thank you enough for doing this video, which talks about a really poignant moment in this pandemic. Lots of Photoshop ingenuity, hell yeah.
Okay, so now we're on to Angelus Cosio, Fold.
Thank you, Eric.
So,
Thank
yeah.
you, Angelus.